everyone, and welcome to another edition of Leatherneck Insider. I'm Mila Stewart.
And I'm Caden Strunz. With an end to some of our fall sports marks the beginning to our winter sports. Rounding out some of the final meets and matches of fall sports, a couple teams have a few more competitions before concluding their seasons.
The cross-country team had a couple record-breaking scores for Western Illinois at the Summit League Championships last weekend. Logan Lamel broke one in the 8K race for the men, and Paulina Wusterfeld broke another in the 6K race for the women. Leatherneck Insider reporter Kobe Blackman has more on these impressive performances.
As cross-country is in full swing, we had a chance to speak with head coach Trey Brokaw on how he thinks the season has been.
It's been an interesting year for our men's and women's cross-country teams. We started the year very strong, did well in our home opener back in early September, and then we traveled to Bradley University and had a good invitational there as well. And in the middle of the season, we kind of faltered a little bit, went to a large invitational at the University of Missouri and a second invitational at the University of Bradley in Peoria, and the team didn't do quite as well as I'd hoped, but we came back and finished really strong this last outing at the Summit League Conference Championships. The men's and women's team, we traveled 12 individuals, and 9 of the 12 had pretty substantial personal bests on the season.
Next part of the season, he also has been impressed with record-breaking runners Logan Leibel and Paulina Westerfield, and hopes to keep the momentum going into the NCAA regionals.
Logan, him on the men's side leading the way. This is actually his first year doing cross country. He was previously on the men's soccer team here at Western, and because he's student teaching this semester, it was going to be virtually impossible for soccer to work out for him. So he decided to commit fully to cross country, and that's been a really good move for him. And he obviously excelled for us, breaking the school record pretty easily, I would say. And I'm excited to see what he can do coming up this weekend at the NCAA regional championships. He's got a shot to break the men's school record in the 10K. Most of the season we race in 8K. For regionals and nationals, they bump up to 10K. And then Paulina on the women's side, what's most impressive about her is just how much she's improved. She ran about 1 minute and 30 seconds faster this year at the conference meet than she did last year, and broke our women's 6K school record. So what's common between those two is that they've just put in a tremendous amount of work.
Head coach also looks forward to improving the team and the recruiting process moving forward. Reporter from Leatherneck Insider, Kobe Blackman.
Thank you, Kobe. It's now time for this week's Leatherneck Insider Athlete of the Week. Leatherneck Insider reporter Jack Bell has more on our winner.
I'm here with this week's winner of Leatherneck Insider Athlete of the Week, Mallory McDermott. Mallory, first off, congratulations on winning.
Thank you, Jack.
19.7 rebounds in the first exhibition game of the year. What was that like for you transitioning now into your junior season?
That was fun. I mean, I've been waiting to kind of have a game like that for a while, so that was kind of a good start to the year, good confidence builder.
Is there something that you're doing differently this year compared to your last 2 years to try and take that next step here into your career as now you get into your upperclassmen seasons?
I think just being smarter. I think being here for a while, I've learned from some really good players like Danny Nichols, Elizabeth. I mean, I've learned a lot. I've gotten stronger. I think all those things are important when you get to college. Take some time.
And you mentioned learning from people who are older than you. Is there someone that took you under their wing as a freshman or a younger player that's kind of helped you get to where you are now at this point in your career?
I think Elizabeth Lutz has obviously been great to me my entire time here. She's took me under. She's taught me a million things, and she's always had my back, so it's been huge for me.
Now, is there someone that is under you that you've kind of brought in and kind of shown them the way of how things go here at the Division I level?
I mean, I love all the freshmen, but I think Allie Meadows, my little Iowa girl, she has done that. Like, I've kind of helped her with some things just like Elizabeth did, and I think that's important to have those people.
So a little competition thing here. You and me, top of the key, 10 3-point attempts. Who's going to come out with more made shots?
I don't know, Jack. You surprised me, so we'll see.
There you go, folks. With Leatherneck Insider, I'm Jack Bell.
Congratulations, Mallory. The season has only begun, and we can't wait to see the success of the program this year. The first National Letter of Intent Signing Day was this week, After the recruiting process, some WIU teams have already started to make additions to their rosters for next year.
Kenny DeAdder won't have to travel very far as she signed her letter of intent to become a part of the WIU volleyball program this past Wednesday. For softball, 3 ladies have already committed to being a future Leatherneck. Sophia Sanchez, Malia Robertson, and Lily Wools will be joining the roster next year. Jackson Rogers, Owen Sullivan, Jason Bull, and Macomb's very own Jack Duncan will be joining the Leatherneck baseball family. And Reagan McCowan from Missouri makes her commitment to the WIU women's basketball team.
Congratulations to all the athletes on committing to Western Illinois. We are excited to extend our Leatherneck family. Up next is a recap on men's soccer and a look at the start of the basketball season here in Macomb.
Not W?
It's not W, it's W. 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 That's what I've been stressing out about the most so far. It's saying W because I know it's something you're going to say there. Yeah, we've been ready.
They're like, we're waiting on, what are we waiting on?
They haven't said it. Said we're ready to go. We can start.
Hello, everyone. I am Will Thomas.
And I'm Dane Mackley. Welcome to this week's edition of Leatherneck Insider.
Welcome back, everyone. Men's soccer just concluded their season last week with a final record of 2, 8, and 7 overall. Finishing 5th in the Summit League rankings, they were 1 spot short of competing in the tournament this year. 6-year senior Ryan DuBois has a few words to say about the season alongside junior goalkeeper Alex Flowers. Let's take a look.
To be honest with you, a lot of draws, some results where we played a lot better than it showed in the score line. So I think the team has a lot to build on, obviously. Going forward, there's a lot of new guys who made a good impact on the team, and I think they'll be strong moving forward, but didn't get the job done as much as we wanted to this year. And yeah, I mean, the freshman class, we had, 15 new guys come in this year, so they made a big impact on the team, obviously both the freshmen and the transfers. The team's in good hands going forward, to be honest, with all these new guys. We're only losing 3 players, so hopefully the team's in good shape going forward, and I think they'll be able to capitalize more on how well they've been playing. I mean, it was tough. Obviously, I've been here for 5.5 years now, so I've been through a lot. It's a strange feeling. It hasn't fully set in for me that it's all over, but it'll set in more, I think, once spring hits and I'm not back out there with the team. So not a great feeling, but not the way I want to end it, but it was a fun ride, and I wouldn't change it for anything else. So
I'm gonna miss his jokes, I'm not gonna lie.
my dad jokes.
Yeah, your dad jokes. But just like the character he brings to the team and the smile he puts on everyone's faces during training.
Just released today were the Summit League Men's Soccer Awards. Senior captain Kyle Owen gets recognition from the Summit League by being awarded with honorable mention for his performance this fall. Congratulations, Kyle, and congratulations to the seniors on their final season as a Leatherneck. Men's soccer will be back in action next spring with some off-season friendlies.
Returning only 4 scholarship players from last year, the Western Illinois men's basketball team has a whole new look to them. Leatherneck insider reporter Peyton Hutchins has more on the new look of the Leathernecks.
After going 16-16 a year ago, the Western Illinois men's basketball team looks a lot different. Head coach Rob Jeter discusses what he thinks about this year's team.
Well, I think the best place to start is that. I mean, when you look over here at Quillian, Q, and we have some new faces. We have a bunch of new guys, but we also have some veteran players too that are leading us. So we're just trying to figure out how to put it all together right now, and I think the best thing for us is going to be playing and just getting experience. So it's going to be a work in progress early, but as we come together and we get some new faces on the court, playing with some of the returning players, we should be able to work some things out and become a solid team.
Jeter also explains how having a smaller lineup will help them down the road.
Well, I like our athleticism. I like our versatility. We're not as big as last year's team, but I think we have a lot more depth and we're faster. So against some of the larger teams, the bigger teams, like DePaul and Central Florida, some of those teams, we're going to struggle a little bit because of their size. But I think once we get into our league, we should be able to match up and be, have a little better opportunity because we're just more athletic than last year's team. So that's what I would say.
For Leatherneck Insider, I'm Peyton Hutchins.
Thank you, Peyton. The men's basketball team tipped off their campaign on Monday, defeating Illinois State 71-68. The Leathernecks trailed by as many as 11 points in the second half, but the play of Trenton Masner and Alec Rosner helped the Leathernecks come from behind and take the win. Trenton Masner became the first Leatherneck since 2018 to record a triple-double, and Alec Rosner scored 25 points in his D1 debut. The Leathernecks will now travel to Florida as they play UCF on Monday, November 14th.
Speaking of basketball, the Western Illinois women's basketball team fell short on Monday to Minnesota 75-45. I was able to catch up with Coach J.D. Gravina and discuss what his goals were to having a successful season. Coach J.D. Gravina is in his 12th season coaching the team with a record of 133-116. Gravina believes that team chemistry will help the team be successful this season.
Being a team that plays really hard is one of our goals. A team that kind of sticks together, which that's tough, and then plays together. And really to have some joy. I mean, we put so much time and effort into this. I think sometimes that's an underrated part of it, and we want to enjoy the process, whether that's traveling, practicing, and playing in games, is to really have that joy about us.
Coach J.D. Gravina points out that the Leathernecks need to finish strong and that will come with more consistency and less pauses because of the pandemic.
I would like to obviously end better. And really by end, I mean the whole second half of the season. And I think last year a big part of that was we had such a big COVID shutdown. We had a great non-conference. I think we were 10-2 maybe going into conference season, and then we had a long COVID shutdown, and just really took us a while to get back going again. And then when we did, we started playing really good basketball and beat North Dakota State on the road. And then had another COVID shutdown. So just kind of getting that normalcy of having some consistency and trying to make a better run in the conference season.
For Leatherneck Insider, I'm Caden Strens.
Thanks, Caden. The women's basketball home opener is on Monday, November 14th against Eastern Illinois University in Western Hall. Right after the break, we'll be back with some local Macomb High news on the Bombers' legendary football season.
Western Illinois University. Our beginnings in 1902 focused on providing affordable teacher education training. We've changed with the times and excelled through the years. Today, Western is positioned for the next 100 years and beyond. Affordability of diverse academic programs, outstanding learning opportunities, and hands-on experiences provide excellent job placement for our graduates. This is Western, forever Western.
Welcome back. Unfortunately, the Macomb High Bombers' historic football season has come to an end. The Bombers lost last Saturday 20-16 to Murfreesboro. They started off hot in the first half, going up 16-0, but they were unable to get on the board in the second half and gave up 20 unanswered points to the Red Devils. The Bombers were the first Macomb High football team in, get this, 111 years to go 10-0, 9-0 in the regular season, and 8-0 in the Prairie Land Conference.
Staying at Macomb High, the volleyball team season has also come to an end as they lost 2-1 against Quincy Notre Dame in the sectional finals. The Bombers finished with a record of 33-4, going undefeated in the Prairie Land Conference for the second season in a row.
Macomb High women's basketball opens their season on Monday, November 14th, hosting the Pleasant Plains. Tip-off is set for 8 p.m. at Macomb High. Coming up after the break, Stillboy talks about the latest college football rankings, and he shares his thoughts on the World Series. Stay tuned.
Taking me home, taking me home.
Here, I engineer the future.
Taking me home. Bring me back.
Here, I have countless opportunities.
Taking me home. Bring me back.
Here, I do research.
Right here at Western.
Welcome back. The second round of college football playoff rankings came out on Tuesday, and there were a few surprises to say the least. Stoolboy tells us his thoughts on the rankings and more.
I'm glad to see you have all joined me for another Stoolboy Sports episode. It means a lot to me to have my own segment. We go to the college football, where the playoff rankings were just announced. There were no surprises to me in the top three, which were Georgia number 1, Ohio State number 2, and Michigan number 3. Those three teams have been dominant all year long and deserve to be in the top 3. However, I think the 4th and 5th spots should have been flipped. At number 4, we have TCU, and number 5, we have Tennessee. Although TCU is undefeated and has beaten a few ranked teams, they play in the Big 12, which hasn't had a good year in football, besides TCU and a couple of other teams, including Kansas and Texas. I think that Tennessee should be at number 4 based on their number of quality wins. Tennessee has beaten LSU, Alabama, and Kentucky, arguably 3 of the best teams in the SEC, aside from Georgia and Tennessee, of course. I think that Tennessee will still make the playoff as a number 3 or 4 because TCU will lose to either Texas or Baylor in the next couple of weeks, which will eliminate TCU from the playoff. As much as I'd love to see TCU make it, I just don't think TCU has what it takes to win out and be an undefeated conference champion. Moving on from college football to college basketball. Basketball season has tipped off, and we are already seeing some top teams getting challenged early on. I gotta give credit to the conference that Western Illinois plays in, which is the Summit League. The Summit League played some of the top teams in college basketball close. St. Thomas only lost to Creighton by 12, who's ranked number 9th in the nation, and Omaha kept it close with number 5 Kansas for a while before Kansas ultimately pulled away. Now, the best thing from opening night of college basketball was the Akron and South Dakota State game. The game was tied with 5 seconds left, and South Dakota State turned it over, and Akron missed a wide-open layup that would have won them the game. Akron eventually won the game in overtime, and that player redeemed himself, but come on. Even I could have made that wide-open layup. Imagine missing a game-winning wide-open layup where the defender literally backs off of you, and you miss. Kind of embarrassing, don't you think? Anyway, we now go from college to the pros, where the World Series is just wrapped up. The Houston Astros won the World Series against the Philadelphia Phillies, and old man Dusty Baker finally won a ring after managing teams for 25 years. Congratulations, Grandpa. You did it. That's all the time I have for you today. I will see you right back here next week on another episode of Stoolboy Sports. Mila and Caden, what are your thoughts on the Astros winning the World Series this year?
All right, so let's just talk about these World Series champs, the Astros. As a team, they finished 106-56 on the season, first in the American League. They were second overall in the MLB, and this is their 4th trip to the World Series in 6 years. So I think it was about time for them to prove themselves to the world that they are the champions. Now, the Phillies overcame some big teams throughout the season, the Cardinals, the Padres, and even the defending champs, the Atlanta Braves. So they showed some grit and they showed the want, but ultimately, I think it came down to the final, the want and the desperation from this Astros team. Dusty Baker said it last year, and he said, we'll be back next year, we're going to win it. And I quote him on that. It's the heart and determination of the guys, so big congratulations to them. They proved themselves on the field this year.
Yeah, elaborating on the Astros, they really have a super team. I mean, they have great offense, great pitching. Their bullpen had the lowest ERA in all of postseason, the lowest on-base percentage allowed, the lowest OPS, which is on-base plus slugging, with 208. Their on-base percentage was 235, and their batting average against was only 126. They had the lowest ERA ever. That was only 0.83. Really
That's
impressive
amazing.
numbers right there.
Yes.
That's all the time we have for you here on Leatherneck Insider. Thank you for joining us. Make sure to give us a follow on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at InsiderWIU. I'm Caden Strunz.
And I'm Mila Stewart. Good luck to all athletics this week as winter sports are starting to get some momentum into their season. We'll see you later, Leatherneck Nation.